Mihan, can you come? Mr. Chair, thank you.
Good afternoon po, Mr. Chair, and to all our honorable senators. First and foremost po, this will be my first revelation of my face and my identity. I am Kaamihan. I am the former Guerrilla Front Secretary of Guerrilla Front 20 under the Sub-Regional Committee 1 of the Southern Mindanao Region. So sa kanayunan po, kilala po akong Amihan, Che. Che din po yung isa kong koda. And this will be my first time to take off my mask in public. So, ako po si Joy James Sagino. Na-recruit po ako bilang member ng League of Filipino Students sa UP, sa Iloilo City Campus, way back in 2007. Ang issue that time, Mr. Chair, was 2007 was the first year of implementation of the tuition fee increase in UP and the revitalized socialized tuition fee and assistance program, or the STFAP. So dahil po sa issue na yon, syempre sa part ko din na galing sa mahirap na pamilya, sumuporta dun sa panawagan ng LFS at saka ng ibang progressive organizations na tutulan yung pagtaas ng matrikula sa University of the Philippines. After 3 months po of being a member of LFS, naimbitahan ako sa isang sikretong pagpupulong. It was held sa likod ng auditorium ng UP Visayas sa Iloilo City, and yun na pala yung orientation at saka recruitment sa akin para maging member ng Kabataang Makabayan. I still remember the person who recruited me. It is the very person who personally attacked Mr. Jeffrey Celis. The person who recruited me sa Kabataang Makabayan is Lian Porquia, the son of the late Jory Porquia, a leader din ng mass movement sa isla ng Panay. So when I was recruited po sa KM, a year after, I've been active as the city spokesperson of the League of Filipino Students, chairperson din po ng LFS sa UP Iloilo City. Tumakbo rin bilang officer ng Student Council sa College of Management sa UP Visayas CM sa City Campus. And naging kabahagi rin ng National Union of Students of the Philippines, kung saan yung pinanggalingang organization ni Congressman Sara Ilago. After a year, Mr. Chair, naprograma akong pumasok sa isang guerrilla front ng NPA sa Southern Front na kumikilo sa mga bayan ng Igbaras, Miagao, San Joaquin, somewhere in the southern mountain range of Panay Island. I stayed there for 3 months. And then paglabas ko, yun na yung naging program sa akin. I was invited to become a candidate member of the Communist Party of the Philippines. I was given an orientation. I was also given yung tinatawag kanina ni Mr. Jeffrey Celis na basic party course. Included some Marxist, Leninist, and Maoist inputs on the revolution of Europe, Russia, and China, etc. And that in 2010, as a cadre of the Communist Party unit sa youth and students sector sa Iloilo, para po sa tugunan yung pangangailangan for the electoral campaign as a Communist Party cadre, I was assigned as the spokesperson of Anak Pawis party list and particularly deployed to the province of Antique to become the electoral coordinator of Anak Pawis and Makabayan Coalition dun sa Antique para po mangampanya at saka mamanage yung mga watchers ng Makabayan doon sa probinsya ng Antique. And then after the election, I was deployed to the regional party group. Yung sinasabi kanina ni Ka Eric, ni Laca Noel, na party group, ako po ay na-deploy sa isang regional party group directly under the Regional YS Bureau of the Regional Urban Party Committee ng Iloilo para mamuno sa Anak Bayan. And thereafter, I was assigned and elected as the regional spokesperson and the regional chairman of Anak Bayan for the entire Panay Island. That was in 2009 until sometime in the mid of 2010. And then, I became a controversial personality during the city council session of the Iloilo City when I was arrested. When we were having a protest, silent protest, inside the session hall of Iloilo City. So that was, I believe, October of 2010. Dahil rin sa takot na naging sentro ng atensyon ng buong syudad ng Iloilo, I decided and asked sa mga higher organ namin sa organization na maglaylo ako. So instead of at maglaylo at umuwi muna sa amin sa Zamboanga or kung saan po yung probinsya namin, instead of layloing, I was offered to be redeployed kasi nangangailangan din yung buong rehiyon ng Zamboanga ng isang kadre para pamunuan yung recovery ng WMRPC, the Western Mindanao Regional Party Committee, partikular sa siyudad ng Zamboanga at sa ilang bahagi ng Zamboanga Sibugay. So in December of 2010 until 2011, I was the Anakbayan Regional Coordinator of the entire Zamboanga Peninsula. I was able to attend the National Assembly and National Council meeting of Anakbayan sometimes in May 2011, and I was elected as the National Vice Chairperson for the entire Mindanao of the Anakbayan National Executive Council. And after that, Mr. Chair, December, I was invited na dumalo sa isang intermediate party course, isang pag-aaral ng partido sa isang in the hinterlands of Davao Region, particularly Sitio Cogonon, Barangay Salvacion, Trento, Agusan del Sur. At after ng pag-aaral, I decided to become a full-time NPA thereafter. And hindi rin matagal yung promotion at saka yung pagtaas ng aking posisyon, I became a political guide ng isang squad ng NPA. Kalaunan naging political instructor, naging political officer, and in 2016, I became the front secretary of the Guerrilla Front 20, at the same time, a deputy secretary of the sub-regional committee under the SMRC. So nung nasa NPA po kami, hindi pa rin hiwalay yung mga gawain namin. We have a sub-regional urban committee kung saan sila yung nagiging legal organizers namin for the peasants. So yung mukha nila ay mga KMP organizers. We also have a committee for YS. We have Anakbayan, particular Anakbayan, Compostela Valley. And during election, kami talaga sa Guerrilla Front yung nagpapatawag ng mga susing mga personality sa loob mismo ng Guerrilla Front sa kampo ng NPA para pag-usapan ano yung magiging role ng mga Guerrilla Front ng NPA sa panahon ng eleksyon. And there was indeed a time in 2016 nung tumatakbo si President Duterte, hindi naman ikakaila ng lahat na the entire revolutionary movement were supporting the President Duterte in his candidacy for the President. And NPA mismo po, kami mismo yung pumupunta sa mga baryo, sa mga guerrilla base namin para ikampanya si President Duterte, ikampanya yung Bayan Muna, ikampanya yung Anak Pawis, and Kabataan Party List, etc. So, yung sinasabi nilang red tagging, ako minsan natatawa na lang po, Mr. Chair, kasi para sa akin po, hindi po siya red tagging. Kasi ako po, as my first time revealing my true identity sa public, especially here in the Senate inquiry ng ating Senate of the Philippines, I really testify na there is no such thing as red tagging. Kami sa Anakbayan, the regional party group na namumuno sa Anakbayan, a regional party group is a party group being of the Communist Party of the Philippines. Kami talaga yung namumuno at saka nangihikayat ng mga estudyante. May program yan. First, immersion sa mga peasant communities, immersion sa mga urban poor and worker communities, until the time na makakapag-decide yung mga members namin na sumampa sa New People's Army. Gaya ko, na na-program din at saka dumating sa point na nag-decide ako before na sumampa sa New People's Army. And these party list groups na tumatakbo sa under the Makabayan Coalition ay mga party list groups talaga na we are leading. Even the regional party committees ng SMRC and all other regional party committees all over the Philippines, down to its NPA units, have very crucial role in campaigning, in implementing solid votes, solid command votes. Command votes, ibig sabihin, all members of the underground mass organizations, members of PKM, members of Makibaka, members of Kabataang Makabayan na nasa loob ng guerrilla base, it's mandatory for them to vote for these party list organizations na tumatakbo sa Congress, Mr. Chair.
paano ka nagbalik loob? Anong nagbunsod sa'yo para magbalik loob sa gobyerno?
Umalis po ako sa pagka-NPA, Mr. Chair, in 2017. If I remember it correctly, it was September 2017. It was a complicated situation kasi before that, yun yung simula ng pagde-declare ng martial law sa Mindanao. Dahil sa kahirapan, nagkakaroon ng kahirapan sa loob ng NPA unit, wala kaming gawain. So I witnessed a lot of things na opposed doon sa personal ko na prinsipyo. For example, yung nakakwento ni Kashane about violence against women, rape against women, isa rin ako sa naging saksi doon sa exploitation, sexual opportunism ng aming mga commanders sa loob ng aking guerrilla front mismo, na may mga commanders, platoon leaders taking advantage of these new women recruits, mga kabataang babae na lumad na nare-recruit namin na 1, 2, or 3 months pa lang, kahit may mga asawa sila, they really are thick-faced na ligawan, ang iba naman talagang ginagapang. So yung mga bagay na hindi ko talaga makain, na nare-realize ko na we have that 3-8 na tinatawag. Isa dyan, 3-8, Mr. Chair, yun yung policy of discipline ng NPA na nagsasabi isa doon, huwag pagsamantalahan yung kababaihan, but ang nangyayari talaga sa loob ng kilusan, yung policy na yan is just a paper policy. What really is happening inside the movement, these commanders, these platoon leaders, these NPA cadres are sexual, most of them are sexual opportunists. They take advantage of this new recruits ng mga babae na kahit may mga asawa sila, ay pinagsasamantalahan yung mga kababaihan. There were, I believe that was in May 2017 to June, na imbes na pag-usapan sa loob ng committee namin ay paano harapin ng NPA unit namin yung martial law ng pamahalaan, ay yung parating na pag-uusapan namin sa araw-araw na meeting namin ay mga violation, mga paglabag dun sa palisiyan ng NPA na pagsasamantalan sa kababaihan. And it is being tolerated na imbes na bigyan ng karampatang disciplinary action, hindi, ang nangyayari, redeployment to other places or demotion, which I believe, para sa akin, it's not enough pag ganun so, isa yun sa mga nag-ano sa akin, nagtulak sa akin na lumabas. And second, I actually don't want to share this in public kasi may ibang mga AFP officers natin probably might get offended. Kasi I was included, I was able to join an NPA ambush sometimes in 2016. I believe that was July, against forces of the 25th Infantry Battalion sa bukirin ng Kilometer 56, Barangay Rizal, Moncayo, Davao de Oro, na may isang tropa talaga na sundalo na patay na. Nilaslasan pa rin talaga ng liig. So, sa part ko, syempre, tingin ko hindi makatao na I believe this is...
Kamihan, nandoon ka mismo? Doon sa
yes,
ambush na yon?
Yes po, I was there. I was the political officer of that unit who ambushed those 25th IB troops operating. And we decided as cadre na we should withdraw. However, may isang platoon leader, I believe he was a platoon leader or political instructor sa isang platoon namin, na imbis mag-withdraw na kami, talagang nilaslasan pa yun ng leeg yung patay ng tropa. So napaka inhumane. I understand some issues of the Communist Party and the NPA are legitimate. For example, landlessness, poverty, these are legitimate issues. But having this dead human being killed twice, hindi ganito yung gusto kong hindi to yung gusto kong advocacy, hindi to yung prinsipyo ko. So yung nangyari, when we had a meeting, Mr. Chair, sa loob ng sub-regional committee, equivalent po to ng isang provincial committee ng partido, pinag-usapan talaga. And syempre sa loob ng party, may death penalty. I really asserted for death penalty against that political instructor na naglaslas ng liig ng isang tropang patay na. However, some of our cadres sa loob ng SRC decided for a demotion instead of a death penalty. And I was very insulted kasi malaking violation yan, hindi lang sa batas ng NPA, even sa Geneva Conventions, IHL, etc. Tayo NPA is claiming to be compliant to this international humanitarian law, to this Geneva Convention. However, yung kami din pala yung parang nagka-cover up dun sa mga violations. So napagtanto ko, Mr. Chair, na these are all deceptions, na yung mga sinasabi namin sa propaganda, sa social media, sa media, etc. Ano lang pala to, pagpapanggap na yung NPA ay mga hukbo ng mga mahihirap, yung NPA hukbo ng magsasaka. Pero hindi, ito ay isang NPA na walang prinsipyo, NPA na nangahasik lang talaga ng game for the sake of overthrowing the government, and that's a thing I can't accept. Bilang ako, I entered initially the organization as an LFS member, believing that this is an organization that advocates for social change, an organization that advocates for government empowerment, etc. Pero hindi kahit na sa mga rally sinasabi na namin na yung mga pulis daw yung nag-i-initiate para magkaroon ng mga riot, etc. Pero hindi, I was able to join, Mr. Chair, a rally in US Embassy, I believe sometimes in 2011. Kami talaga yung nagdadala ng mga cellophane, mga plastic, nakabalot na mga tae, nakabalot na mga panis na mga pintura, at kami talaga yung na-observe pa talaga na sa hanay namin na anak bayan ng LFS, kami yung nag-i-initiate para mag-create ng riot sa mga kilos protesta, and that's a thing na tingin ko naman na hindi naman necessary dapat na ganun dumating kasi may nakulong na mga kasama, may mga nasaktan, nasugatan, iba mga nasagasaan, at it's na parang labas na siya dun sa yung gusto kong mangyari. Ito yung dahilan, Mr. Chair, bakit ako nag-decide na umalis sa Kilusan, bakit ako nag-decide na sumuporta sa government. Kasi I realized, Mr. Chair, na hindi naman dapat dahas yung paraan para makamit ng mga mamamayan, ng mga mahihirap, kung ano yung mga advocacies, ano yung mga demands ng mamamayan, kundi the government is always there to listen. I was able to observe that when after I left the organization. Nakita ko yung sincerity ng government to reach out to people who are vulnerable to exploitation and infiltration ng CPP and PNDF, Mr. Chair.
Hindi ba mahirap umalis? Hindi delikado? Ano yung risk ng pagtiwalag mo? Ganun kasimple lang na basta't nag-awol ka tapos nawala ka na lang sa kilusan ninyo?
Actually, Mr. Chair, after I left, I hindi pa talaga totally na umalis sa organization. Umalis lang ako sa NPA unit kung saan ako nanggaling. Siyempre, balot po ako ng takot ng time na yun kasi it's my first time na umalis.
Unilateral yung decision na yun na basta ka lang alis, lilipat ka na lang ng ibang assignment. Alis ka sa NPA, magiging political organizer o hanap ka na assignment mo, sarili, wala kayong patakaran tungkol dito?
Actually, Mr. Chair, merong talagang patakaran sa hinggil dyan. That's why what I did was outside and beyond the policies of the party. Paglabas ko, kasi I was operating as an NPA leader in Compostela Valley and in Davao